BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
The top military lawyer in Israel has been arrested and detained following her admission to leaking footage depicting soldiers allegedly assaulting a Palestinian detainee, and subsequently misleading the country's high court about her actions. Yifat Tomer Yerushalmi, the military advocate general, stated in a resignation letter that she had authorized the video's release to mitigate attacks against military investigators and prosecutors handling the case. This move came amidst a chorus of right-wing politicians and pundits who lauded the detained soldiers as heroes, castigated military investigators as traitors, and demanded the case be dropped. Israeli media reports confirm Tomer Yerushalmi's arrest on multiple serious charges including fraud, breach of trust, abuse of office, obstruction of justice, and unauthorized disclosure of official information by a public servant. Her apprehension and confinement cast a stark shadow over the principles of the rule of law in Israel, the mechanisms for accountability concerning the abuse and killing of Palestinians amidst a conflict described by a UN commission as genocidal, and the nation's capacity to defend itself on the international legal stage. The SDE Timon Military Detention Center, notorious for its alleged torture practices, became the focus in July 2024 when prosecutors raided the facility and detained 11 soldiers for interrogation. These individuals were suspected of a brutal assault on a Gazan Palestinian, an attack that reportedly included anal rape. The victim was hospitalized with severe injuries, including broken ribs, a punctured lung, and rectal damage. According to the indictment, Tomer Yerushalmi initiated an investigation into these harrowing allegations. However, the government and hardline right-wing factions accused her of damaging Israel's international standing by pursuing the case and releasing the video, effectively framing her efforts to prosecute extreme violence as an act detrimental to the state. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu articulated this sentiment in a statement, declaring that the SDE Timon incident inflicted immense damage on Israel's image and that of the Israel Defense Forces, calling it potentially the most severe public relations crisis the state had faced since its inception. Following the initial detentions of soldiers in the summer of 2024, a mob, including a government minister and 2 Knesset members, gathered outside SDE Timon, demanding the investigation be halted, and some even breached the base's perimeter. Tomer Yerushalmi then leaked the video in August 2024, post-protests, citing in her resignation letter that it was an attempt to debunk false propaganda against army law enforcement bodies. Days later, 5 soldiers were charged with aggravated abuse and causing serious bodily harm. These individuals have not been publicly identified and currently face no detention or legal restrictions. According to Israeli media, subsequent reports from Haaretz indicate that Tomer Yerushalmi, under immense pressure from public attacks surrounding the SDE Timon case, refused to initiate or advance investigations into other potential war crimes committed by the Israeli military. The record of accountability for Israeli soldiers' conduct in detention during the ongoing conflict remains disturbingly sparse, despite widespread documentation of torture and abuse within Israel's detention system, resulting in the deaths of dozens of Palestinians. There has been only a single conviction for assaulting Palestinians in custody. Furthermore, no soldiers have been charged for the killing of civilians in Gaza, even in cases that ignited international outrage, such as the strikes on paramedics and a World Central Kitchen aid team. And amidst the loss of tens of thousands of Palestinian civilian lives in Gaza over the past 2 years due to attacks and airstrikes, the vitriol directed at Tomer Yerushalmi intensified in recent days, with reports linking her to the video leak. These attacks manifested as official demands for her resignation and pervasive online threats, persisting even after she announced her departure. A temporary halt to the campaign of hostility occurred on Sunday afternoon amid grave concerns for her safety. This pause followed her partner reporting her missing to the police after her car was discovered empty at a Tel Aviv area beach with a note inside. Following her safe return, the attacks rapidly resumed. The far-right commentator Yinan Magal provocatively posted on X, "We can proceed with the lynching," accompanied by a winking emoji. Shortly thereafter, protesters reportedly gathered outside her residence, chanting slogans like, "We will give you no peace." Defense Minister Israel Katz later accused her of spreading blood libels. Historically, the Israeli government and military have considered an independent judiciary a vital bulwark against international legal tribunals investigating alleged Israeli abuses against Palestinians. The logic dictates that a robust national legal system capable of investigating and prosecuting crimes diminishes the jurisdiction of international courts. Investigative reporter Ronan Bergman quoted the Advocate General telling colleagues 6 weeks ago, as reported by Yedioth Ahronoth newspaper, "Don't they understand we had no choice? That the only way to address the wave of international legal proceedings is by proving we can investigate ourselves?" Quote, Professor Yagal Levy, head of the Institute for the Study of Civil-Military Relations at Israel's Open University, noted that in recent decades, many Israelis have perceived the role of the military advocate general as primarily serving to protect soldiers from prosecution abroad. He elaborated, "In other words, the law is not upheld as a value in itself, but as a defense against international tribunals." Levy observes that even this pragmatic legal approach is now under assault from the political right, a phenomenon evident in the severe lack of legal accountability for soldiers' conduct in Gaza over the past 2 years. He pointed out that during the war, the Advocate General granted the army considerable latitude in Gaza, particularly concerning the unprecedented collateral damage from airstrikes. This, Levy concluded, reflects a significantly weakened commitment to international law, with some on the right asserting Israel's exemption from its provisions, even invoking religious justifications for this stance.